Hi, my name is Gani, and if this is your first time watching my channel, I typically talk about apps and tech. So, a good 2020, I spent a lot of time in this room here. So, like any other YouTubers out there who's remodifying their room for 2021 to be more creative, productive, and I decided to jump on that bandwagon. So this is a video about how I turned this room into what I consider a productive and creative room for me. Check it out. This was the original color of the room. It was just plain vanilla white, and I decided to give it a darker shade of color. Unfortunately, my wife didn't agree for me to paint the entire room dark, so I only had the feature wall to be painted dark. I recruited several volunteers to assist me in this project, but unfortunately this particular volunteer was more interested in entertaining himself rather than helping around. So we decided to paint the feature wall dark grey, and this particular color I think was Deluxe or Nippon Midnight Shade, if I'm not mistaken. So we painted this particular wall grey and it turned out alright. It looked really good. Contrast with the white background color of the other side of the wall. Next is my desk. This is a L-shaped desk which I had it over 10 years now. It's a custom-made desk which I'm quite impressed that it lasted this long, but hey, if it lasts, it works, why change it, right? But it's so old that you can see the desk handles are all broken now. I should really get that fixed. I hope to get a standing desk real soon. This is my Dell 24-inch monitor, which is about a few years old right now. I like it because it supports higher resolution up to 1440. The color is great and it comes with tons of port behind the monitor. But right now, I'm seriously considering upgrading to the LG 49-inch widescreen display. It's really massive and I bet it's a boost for productivity. But only once it becomes more affordable, or I suddenly become a huge YouTuber and LG decides to send it for free.
$100, which is a lot of money, but I mean, you are getting a lot of monitor. So when LG reached out and offered to send this thing out, it was actually really good timing.
Next is my cable management, and it's a complete disaster. Since I already have the Ubic power track installed during my renovation, all my cables will be exposed due to this. Next is I have a 9-in-1 Ventian USB-C hub where all my USB cable goes into here together with my HDMI. That's the best I can do. I had this Edifier speaker for over 10 years now and it works perfectly till today. I'm impressed with this brand that I even bought an Edifier headset. Only drawback of this speaker is it still runs on wire, but of course it's 10 years old. So as you can see, the theme of the whole modification of this room here is to keep the cost as low as possible by using the existing items that I have. I have no intention of buying a new furniture just to make this room more productive or creative, but rather try to use as much as existing items for furniture that I have. I only bought a few gadgets just to increase the productivity of the room. But apart from that, my idea is to keep the cost low, and when the budget permits or the time permits, I will upgrade the room as I go along. So I think that is a better option rather than just paying for a whole new renovation of the room. Now let's talk about keyboards. So for the longest time, I've been a Logitech fan, and I've been using this Logitech K375S keyboard as my daily driver until I start noticing a lot of people are switching to a mechanical keyboard. So I decided to purchase a HP GK520 mechanical keyboard with brown switches just to try it out, and it wasn't that expensive. And when I started to use it, it was such a joy to use that particular keyboard. The typing was fun, it had a clicky sound, and it had the actuation point that was, it was fast. It was fast to type on that keyboard, so I couldn't go back to my old Logitech anymore. So that particular device helped boost my productivity where I could type faster, and I really enjoy typing on it. So it's a good investment for anyone who's looking to type faster to get a mechanical keyboard. So working from home most of the time in 2020, what happened was it caused a pain in my wrist area here, and it wasn't a pleasant experience, that to the point that I couldn't use the mouse for longer than 30 minutes or even maximum an hour, and there'll be excruciating pain. So I did visit an orthopedic, and I went through the process of putting in ice, taking some medicine, some painkillers, physiotherapy every week. And that brought me to this, which is to purchase a ergonomic mouse. Now, most YouTuber will recommend you to get a Logitech mouse, but it will be the MX3. So I'm recommending you to get the trackball version instead. If you have a wrist problem or during working from home, this is probably an option where it allows you to tilt your mouse to a 45 or was it a 30-degree angle, so it aligns your hand with the table together with the mouse, so it theoretically should avoid any carpal tunnel or any wrist injury related issues while using the mouse. In terms of usage of this mouse, I liked it, but I would still think the MX3 is a better option if you don't have any issue with the wrist. It has much more features and functions, and you're able to scroll faster with the Max 3 because it has a free scrolling and this doesn't has a free scrolling. And apart from that, I think I kind of used to it and I like it. But given an option, if I don't have the wrist problem, I would definitely go back to the MX3. So now comes the most important component of building this entire room and studio, which is the machine. The machine that I need to do my video production, my video editing, such as this video and lots more to come. I needed a solid machine to do this. And I'm a big Apple guy, but funny enough, I'm using an Android device. But I do believe Apple have very good products in terms of their laptop lines. And however, at that time was mid 2020, I believe, and there was news about Apple Silicon. So I didn't think that was the right time to buy a MacBook. So I wanted to wait until the M1, which is out right now, and the specs sheet that's coming out of it, it's amazing. But yeah, I'll consider that. But during at that time, it wasn't the right decision, so I decided to buy a Windows laptop. Big mistake. I should have gone with the desktop instead. But anyway, I bought a brand called Gear, and it's a Malaysian brand, which I guess they sourced the component from China and Taiwan. I bought it because there was a lot of raving reviews online about it. So a lot of people are using it. It must be good. Okay, but I'll share my experience with this particular laptop brand, and I'll put the spec list. So I spec'd it out, as you can see on the screen here, specifically for video editing purpose. Now, let me share you my experience using this particular machine. Let's talk about pros and cons. Let's go with the pros first. So the pros is, when I got it, it was pretty fast. The boot time was amazingly fast. The application was loading quite fast, but I guess this is typical of any new laptops. It's starting to slow right now, so I'm seeing the degradation a bit. It has a very good IPS panel. It looks clean and sharp. And I managed to render a 7 minutes video in just 1 minute, so it was blazing fast in terms of rendering in Adobe Premiere. Now let's talk about cons, and I've got a few here. Firstly, the guy who's doing the tech support, in my opinion, he should be fired because he doesn't give a very pleasant and good relationship support to the customer. At least this is in my experience with this particular person. Secondly, it's the build quality. It's quite not up to par. Yes, I'm guessing that I paid not a MacBook price, but then again, for the price that I paid, it's about 6,000 to 7,000. I could get a much more high quality laptop than what I got, I believe. Thirdly, it's the battery lifetime, and it only lasts me about 1 hour max. So that's my biggest pet peeve. It could be common for a gaming laptop to have 1 hour battery lifetime, but a laptop for 1 hour, I might as well get a desktop, right? Because I can't carry it around. By the time I open up laptop in cafe, the battery is dead, and the battery brick, the power brick for this laptop, it's huge. It's huge and it's heavy. So I guess I didn't review or did a more research in detail before I decided to buy this. So lesson learned, don't always believe the Facebook reviews that you see. They only put out glowing reviews, but what about the criticism of these brands and laptops? And the fan noise in this laptop is quite noisy, and it gets pretty loud during heavy processing. So that is some of the drawbacks that I felt from using this particular laptop. So verdict, would I buy this brand again? Not really. Would I recommend it to others? Not really, unless you are in a very budget constraint and you want bang for your buck, you want to max out for your money, then it's probably you can go with this, but bear in mind in terms of the cons that you're going to bring along to it. And I would personally recommend moving forward is to go with Apple products. When Adobe decides to optimize for M1 chips, only then I'll start switching to Apple. If not, I'll stick to probably the likes of Dell, Lenovo, Asus. So these are reputable brands. They are good brands, and I've been using Dell for a long time, and I really love their support. The support is really good, and I don't really have much issue in terms of Dell. In fact, this particular laptop that I'm using right now, this is the company issued laptop. I had issues with it, but the thing is, they came right up to my desk and changed component by component. They literally changed the whole motherboard. I think everything internal of this laptop has been changed. So that's how good Dell support is, and I think I appreciate that. I think once we get into very expensive gears and hardware, we always should think about support. What's going to come after that? So that is the review. So let's move on to next. For my microphone setup, I'm using the Fifine T670 Studio Condenser USB microphone, which comes with an arm stand, shock mount, anti-wind sponge cap, and a pop filter. Now for RM249, I think it's pretty good setup. The voice quality is what you're hearing right now, and I use it for my Teams meetings as well. If it's not positioned well, it does sound a bit off and it can pick up some background sound, but for the price, I think it's pretty good for now. To complement the room, I bought an IKEA grey colored shelf, which went well with the wall. The purpose of it was a combination for aesthetic and functional purpose, to store my quick access items. Now, being a narcissistic person, my portrait photo had to be there on the top. Now, for the accessories in my room, I have one IKEA fake grass, because I think having green keeps you sane. Next is my lava lamp, which I got as a merchandise from Google. To keep myself hydrated, I have a 3.8 liter water bottle, which takes me 2 days to finish. Now, if you don't know me, I like to collect pens. In the black case here, it's my Sony XM4, which I'll not be reviewing here. Lastly is my Logitech handphone holder, which I have for easy viewing of my notifications. So that is pretty much the tour of my room, which is vast different than what it was before. So if I'm going to spend time here in 2021, I think I don't mind. It's a pretty cool room, I would say that. I didn't cover the entire thing in my room, such as the camera, the lightings, and so on. But probably another video. So if you enjoyed this video and if you have learned something, please do subscribe and like this video. And if you have any questions or comment or improvement on this video or any of my other videos, please do leave a comment below. I will read each and everyone's comment and respond to it. So thank you very much for watching. Catch you all again. Bye.